Welcome, my name is Barbara Marcum. I'm the Director of Senior Resources for the City of Westland. With me today I have Eric Brown from Atlas Home Safety. Welcome, Eric.
Thanks, Barb.
Well, thanks for coming in. There's a big need for safety in a home, and a lot of people have lived in their home for decades. But then when they're 30 versus when they're 80, it's an entirely different thing. Home safety is very important. So tell me about your company and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, for having me. I really appreciate it. Atlas Home Safety is a division of Atlas Home Improvement. It's a privately held company here in Michigan for the past 35 years. The need was found some 15 years ago when we were replacing showers, tubs, with walk-in showers because, as we know, most homes that are 40 years old have tubs. And for those who age in place, for the elderly, that's a big challenge, right, getting into that tub.
Bathrooms and kitchens.
Bathrooms and
biggest
kitchens.
Accidents.
Exactly. So really, personally, the owner had a situation where his mother fell, and they were in the business. So there's a lot of different items that are necessary to make a bathroom safe and a kitchen safe. My background has been in the medical field and in surgical for the majority of my career.
Interesting, yeah.
So it's been very rewarding to see the opportunity to really help seniors. I'm what's called a CAPS certified.
What does that mean?
CAPS is a certified aging in place specialist. So what we do is we go into a home, we do a free home assessment. It's not really a consultation until we can provide an assessment to find out what those needs are. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when you look at the numbers, like 1 in 3 people, this year that are over 65 will have a fall. We need to make changes in the home. It's very expensive to go into an alternate care facility to the tune of $40,000 to $80,000 a year, mm-hmm. based on what the need is. So it can really be as simple as making adaptations initially, like via a checklist, whether it's a child or a friend, a parent that can come in, and we can make recommendations to make some changes initially, not so much to spend a lot of money just changing the home. There might be some needs, cognitive and physical needs for that individual, but we look at that as what can we do initially, the family, the friends. And the elderly, those who age in place, I'm aging in place, we're aging in place as we sit here, right?
Right.
And the need changes, right? So we need to have that assessment, And it varies the gamut, right? The range just really, so that's the real value of that assessment. And, seeing patients through the years, get better and as they post-surgically get better and they rehabilitate at home. Sometimes we forget about those who are just want to stay in their home and they're aging, and they can't be afraid to ask for help. They may not have children that can help them, but a neighbor can help, right? Or someone in their church, right? Or someone in their faith-based community can help them. I do a lot of work with senior centers, and a lot of these folks help each other, right? They help each other understand what their needs are.
Actually, friendships are the number one relationship that as people get older is the most significant. They're adult children, have children of their own, they're working, they're busy. So when seniors can't drive somewhere to an appointment, a friend or somebody, that's why socialization is so important, and isolation can be very damaging. But the thing is like even like as somebody gets older, you may not need everything done, but say you're 70, and like you said, getting that tub taken out and having a shower that you can walk right into. Getting out of the tub, very dangerous in the bathroom. So, once you get to a certain age, balance is an issue.
Yes.
It could be a lot of different things. And modifying the home it's like you're doing it for safety purposes. Most seniors don't want to move.
Yes.
And so, but then an adult child comes along and says, Mom or Dad, you can't stay here. It's too dangerous. Well, they don't want to leave, okay?
Right.
So it's like, what is the option? The option is to alter the things that are most dangerous.
Yes.
Okay, so that they can stay there with less risk.
That's right.
Okay.
But, and I'll add to that, and do it right. For example, a grab bar. And we see this all the time. Mm-hmm. A grab bar that is positioned behind the commode, right, doesn't help anyone.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
Actually, it might actually throw you off balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It actually becomes a fall risk.
Yes.
Right? So things like that, and that's kind of where the CAP certification comes in, because you have to really pay attention to the minutia, because it's so important. You know, picture yourself in that bathroom setting, for example, right? And we have, Atlas Home Safety has products, all right, that will accommodate them in many different variations. So they can be aesthetically pleasing, but fundamentally they're functional, right?
Functionality
is key,
Yes.
exactly. So for 35 years, we've helped folks with the bathrooms and with the kitchens. We're just elevating this now to a broader breadth of products and solutions
Great.
for folks. And I lead the team that will come out and do that assessment. So.
That's very interesting because, you know, you don't want the most dangerous place for you to be in as your home.
Right.
Okay.
That's a great point.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, and so the thing is like, we know where danger occurs. Like you said, grab bars are great, but they have to be put in the correct place for them to be of benefit to you. So, well, let's talk about some of the modifications, okay, and some of the things when you go in and you assess an area, what are you looking for, and what do you have to solve the problem?
I'm looking for the degree of clutter, to be honest with you.
Huge.
I don't know how else to put it, right? It's kind of a negative connotation when we say clutter, but clutter can be too many throw rugs
Right.
on a slippery kitchen surface.
Could also be hoarding.
It could be hoarding,
Okay.
but that we don't assess, right?
Right.
we may remain objective, right?
Yes.
But we have to, in fact, I'll touch on that. We preface this with people that we're not here to insult you.
That's right.
Okay, we're here to help you. So we do need you to be open to the recommendation. It's a recommendation, okay? No one's forcing that on you, but we need you and want you to stay safe in your home, okay?
Right.
What kind of shoes are you wearing on that surface, right? Is it are you wearing slippers that you can slip at any time, with or without those rugs, right?
Yep.
Cooking, are you wearing a house dress, right? Or are you wearing a robe that may have sleeves that are too long, okay? But you're cooking over that burner, right?
Gas or electric, they'll both catch on fire.
That's right, that's right. A lot of people, some of the older homes have a very high microwave, okay? So
Taking
sometimes,
something out like soup.
yeah, taking something out.
Burn yourself all the way
And
down.
if your equilibrium is off, then you're going
Right.
to fall. And if you have the wrong shoes on, you're going to fall. The risk is higher.
Yeah, and like you said, like with the rugs, not only will they slip, okay, you could also trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are very dangerous. We tell everybody, get rid of the throw rugs because they're a danger. And
Yes.
like you said, the clutter, the more things you have in your way, the more chances of you falling is going to be.
Absolutely.
You know, and even things like pants with wide bottoms. Now they had, for a long time, you know, pants were skinny pants, you know what I mean? But now they're showing the really wide legs. Well, when you're running down the stairs and your shoe slides inside one of those pant legs,
Right.
you know, you go all the way down. So even if it means putting up another banister so that you have two banisters to hold on to down the
Yes.
stairs, I mean, there are really important things that are not all that expensive.
No.
Okay, but they're very important when it comes to stairs, bathrooms, kitchens, that kind of thing. What do you find in it? What else do you find in a kitchen?
Functionality, let's go back to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
sure.
I want to hit on the point with your rails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Great, I have rails, but that's when I'm in that area. Don't be afraid to use a cane. Don't be afraid to use a device that's going to help you once you've achieved your destination. I've had people who will go upstairs and have grab bars before the landing, so it helps them elevate to that next platform. If those aren't installed correctly, I had a client who was a veteran a few weeks ago who grabbed that grab bar and fell back 12 risers, back down to his, yep. And thank God he was okay. But again, had he had that installed properly and perhaps had a cane or another, like what we call a super pole that runs vertically to the wall, he could have grabbed that.
Yeah, it's really important. You know, like my dad, 98 years old at the end of this year. And you know what the thing is about him is he's just really proud. He was a veteran. He goes to the gym. He day trades. And, you know, but the thing is he won't use a cane.
Yeah.
Refuses because I don't know, I'm not gonna say male ego, okay? But it's important, you know what I mean?
Right.
People look at you as being lacking something if you need support.
Yes.
Well, it's way better to need support than it is to tumble down on, you know, in the middle of wherever you are.
That's right.
So, I mean, okay, so the other day, I'll just tell you the situation.
Yeah.
I go to my dad's Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, every week. So I look and I go, what is that on your arm? And it was black and blue all the way down. And he said, oh, I fell. And I said, you fell? How did you fall? Well, I was watching Fox News Business, and they gave me symbols of 2 stocks that I wanted to buy, so I was running to my computer, which happened to be this way and then this way, and he just lost it at the... And I said, you shouldn't be running anywhere, okay, at 97.
No.
So I'm glad he doesn't get this show, because he won't know I said anything.
Think of how many times that happens and they don't tell anyone.
I said, how did you get back up?
Yeah.
He said, I did what you told me to. I crawled to the couch, I put my arms up, I put one leg up, then the other one up, then I stood up, and I was fine. I said, okay, that's just great, okay? But like Donna's, my sister is there during the week, I'm there on the weekends, but it's like, I mean, she does go grocery shopping and different things. Mm-hmm. And one time my dad lives on 20 acres with all kinds of animals. He has
Nice.
a grapevine up there. He decides to go out and take a look at it. He fell and couldn't get up. It's a good thing that I was out there. I had to get a chair to help him get up. And then he goes out on the tractor and blah, blah, blah. And my sister says, we shouldn't allow him to do that. Well, you can't tell him not to, okay? He's independent. And I said, Don, if the tractor falls out on him, he's doing something he loves. But at least you can take the minimal things where he is all the time. He's legally blind, okay, as you know, macular degeneration,
yeah.
and it's wet. Okay, so he gets the shots in his eyes. We had to get him a big TV like that so he could look on the computer. But I mean, so we're trying to do things. So when they moved into the house, it did have a walk-in shower with 2 benches at each end, 2 shower heads. That's good. So, but even things like the knobs, like if your parent
Yes.
has severe arthritis, little
Yes.
knobs are really hard. It's way better to have a lever that you can pull.
Absolutely.
And what are the other things? Lighting is important.
Lighting is very important. You know, it's important to know where your exits are.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you don't have a product that will alert, okay, a friend or family, you know, be it a necklace or
Lifeline, whatever.
Yep, a lifeline. And there are many great products. We have one that's an actual sensor that will indicate
A fall?
what doesn't occur. Oh. So if your coffee pot, mom and dad's coffee pot's supposed to go on between 7 and 7:30 every morning, and it doesn't, it will alert you through an app, and it's not a subscription. It's no charge. That sensor will alert a loved one if mom and dad are in Westland and their son John is in Boston, Massachusetts. John will be alerted that coffee maker didn't go off. Really? A quick phone call, was everything okay?
Okay, your
well,
coffee
the power
pot.
went out, John,
Right.
we're okay.
Oh.
But it's peace of mind. Another thing to look for, we talk about your dad and his computer, is all these wires.
Dangerous.
Particularly, not only just that at a station, right? But let's say the wiring in the kitchen, right? The wiring in the bathroom. How old is that? Do we have appliances that have frayed, okay?
Cords.
Cords. we can assess that. We can make recommendations. We work with a group, okay, for that. I work a lot with fire departments. In fact, this morning I did a talk with the fire department, and they talked a lot about the furniture. You know, some of the older furniture is safer because it's heavier wood and so on. But if you've done any kind of renovation, right, and it's been a cost-effective way, most furniture is made of synthetic materials,
Yeah.
okay, that have highly flammable oils and gases that just light up like that. So just be mindful. We're not asking people to change all their furniture, but this is something that we look at, particularly if you have frayed cords, right? Then how susceptible are you to start a fire?
I'm smiling about that because I have my grandmother's Sunbeam egg cooker from the 1950s. I have great cords on it because I have two. But, you know, I was looking at that the other day, and my sister had an egg cooker from somebody else in the family years ago. She plugged it in and pooh, it exploded. Okay, well, I don't know, it didn't explode, but I mean, it was electrical. Whatever happened in there happened.
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, old things. And you know, a lot of people who are seniors grew up in the Depression. They don't want to throw things away. Why, if it works today, should I worry about it?
Right.
But I mean, certainly looking at things, and even if you do an assessment in a way that you say, okay, and that you can, let's pace this out, okay, so
Yes.
that we'll look at things that are really detrimental to you right now,
Yes.
okay? And then as you get a little bit older, we can go in steps and replace things like the furniture, which would be, you know, when you can't walk fast or at 90 or 85 or 80, when it means getting out of that house in a fire,
Absolutely.
or you die.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so those things are really, really
They're
important.
very important, and you don't want to overwhelm them.
Right.
You don't want folks to feel guilty. Geez, I've been living like this. No, that's not our goal. We need to help you in increments, is how I call it. In fact, I'll give you an example. A widow.
Yeah, you can tell stories.
Veteran.
My viewers love stories.
Well, this is a veteran very close to here. She served in Vietnam, and she lost her husband, who was also a veteran. And she had all the rugs all over the place. She had what we called clutter, right? She was very open to changing, so we did that. But she didn't have grab bars, and she says, I'm always going out to my back. She had kind of a sunroom. And she says, I don't do it anymore because I have a 4-inch rise.
She's afraid she'll fall.
She's afraid, and she's using a walker. And I said, well, we're going to make some steps. They're going to help you incrementally, okay? Which means we're going to put a threshold ramp. We're going to put a 4-inch threshold ramp that's on an angle that you're able to get up through now with your walker safely.
Yeah, that's your favorite room.
That's your favorite room. And now my background is medical, so I do understand, you know, when people have issues with the lower and the upper extremities, to your point earlier, neuropathy, things like that. We can explore the next level of home safety for them once we've taken care of that initial need, the threshold, the grab bars, because there's a reason why she's using that walker.
That's right.
She then tells me that I haven't been able to do my laundry in the basement for 2 years.
Right.
Well, you need a stair lift, okay? A stair lift will bring you down safely. It'll turn your 90 degrees, right? You exit and enter very safely. So it's, again, incrementally, right? You may need some equipment, right? That isn't necessarily inexpensive, but commensurate to the $40,000 or the $80,000 a year,
Yeah.
right? That the VA will either pay or not pay for, right? You have to look at that. And at Atlas, we do a lot of things that will make it attainable for folks.
Well, you know, even if somebody is moving in and they're younger, okay, I think my parents bought that home, let's see, 20 years ago. But at the time, they were living in Florida and up on an island between Mackinac and Drummond Island. And so I said, you know what, this is it. My dad had open heart surgery. I said, we cannot drive this distance every weekend, still work full time and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of those things like stairs, and so that's why they got everything on one level. I mean, they do have a basement that has the same, it's actually not a basement, it's another living quarter. But anyway, so everything was done on the thing, all the bathrooms, all the bedrooms, the den, the dining rooms, the kitchen, everything's on one, laundry, everything on one floor, which was really smart. So when people are looking for something, it never hurts to have the grab bars in the bathrooms. I don't care how old you are. Okay, yeah, when you're 12 and you fall, that's not a big deal on the bathroom floor. But you know what? As you get older, those grab bars are, I think, an advantage. So when people say, well, I've done alterations to my home and, you know, somebody's might not like it, I don't understand why, because safety is safety, whatever age you are. So you have them, and if you decide you're going to stay in that home forever, then guess what? You have everything already built in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you look at, to your point earlier too, this is today, but we really do need to think about 3 years down the road. For example, a stair lift. I'll go back to that product because I've run into this so many times.
So have I.
I don't need a power swivel seat. I don't need a footrest that will lift on its own. I'm able to do that now, but I'm observing them, right, upper, lower extremities, and I say to them, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, but what about 2 years away? What about 5 years away? Because you're staying in this home, okay? It's the goal is not to sell them more. The goal is to make it safe for them now and in the future. Can we add on to that down the road? Maybe, maybe not, right? It may be more costly, but if you make the right choice now, it's really important.
No, I think that's really great. And well, so when you go in, what do you look like? What do you look for when you do an assessment? You walk through the front door. I know you look at clutter and scatter rugs and things, but do you go to specific areas in the home? Do you did you kind of take in the wide view? How do you go about doing that? Is it like a checklist?
It's a checklist.
Okay.
It's a checklist room by room. We go to the most often used room, right, which is usually a den or a living area. Obviously, the bathroom and the kitchen. We look at the proximity to the garage into the home.
Right. Big.
So key, right? It's usually into a laundry room. They have a lot of stuff in the garage, right? How are we getting in, right? Are we getting in safely? No, I have real challenges. There's only 3 or 4 risers, steps, but I'm having a real challenge. Well, we have some options there. You could do ramping, you could do modular ramping, where you're able to maximize the space, okay? That's a cost-effective way, okay? You could do even a stair lift in the garage that'll take you up 4 steps. You could do what's called a vertical platform lift. You can roll onto a platform and it'll lift you up over those risers and right into your laundry room safely.
Yeah, it's important to know what options are available because I guarantee you most people don't know.
They don't know. And again, incrementally, how can we help you? We don't need to sell you an expensive piece of equipment, okay, that is ultimately the best solution, but let's look at what your goal is too. Do you want a second, in my example with the garage, do you need a second vehicle in the garage, right?
Right.
Not really. Okay, well then let's look at this as an option, right? The basement. We need to get down to the basement, right? That's probably between the living area, the bathroom, and the basement. Those are the key focal points.
Yeah, and you know, I do, you know, they have a new washer. I just saw this the other day, and this came up in my family conversation. It's like, wow, do you know that they have washers and dryers, and they're in the same machine? It was like I was shocked when we went to get a recliner, because the threadbare one my dad was holding on to for way too long. Decided on leather. But anyway, so we're looking, it's like it says washer and dryer, and there's one thing, and it's like you turn it on, it washes, and then it dries, and there's no washer and dryer. I was shocked. I just found this out at
Wow,
Christmas
I
time.
haven't seen it.
Oh,
Wow,
you've
that's
got to
fan-
see it. It's
I
crazy.
have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is my parents had stackables put in,
Yeah.
so they could have it on the same floor, so they could do small loads at a time, and that worked out really well. So I understand, what you're saying, and we're not just talking about, people have strokes.
Yep.
People lose their limb due to diabetes, their use of their legs. I mean, so if somebody is in a situation, may have MS, look at a situation where somebody's in their mid-30s or 40s, you're looking at a long period of time, but you're not looking at that disability getting any better.
That's right.
Okay, just
That's
like
right.
a 75 it's not going to be, unless you start running, okay, or exercising 3 times a week at the gym.
We're not all your dad.
I know.
Right.
But, yes, can you make great changes in your life? You betcha. But if you're not going to be doing that, it's not going to get any better.
Right.
Okay, it's just going to get worse. So, I think people at least, calling and saying, what can you do for me? And I think people realize the danger when they may not, because they're so used to seeing it and being in it. When somebody comes in and says, wow, this coffee pot could catch on fire with this cord, because they used to put the braided like a thing over each one, and then it's all frayed. And you say, well, if this caught on fire, you probably wouldn't be able to get out of here on time.
Right.
So
There's 3 categories when we age in place. The first is all of us. We're all aging in place, right, as we sit here. The second is progressive, right? Okay, I'm 62. Okay, I'm going to be 72. Okay, what progressive issues will I have? Okay, and the last is traumatic. I've had surgery, I've had a stroke, I've had something that has been traumatic. How do I equip my home safely? So that, in mind, is kind of our guideline when we do that home assessment. Where are we within those categories?
I think it's important to look forward. I mean, we can look at now and see what we're having problems with now, and if you're having a problem now, you're going to be having a problem later. But the thing is, I think just knowing where you are, knowing that services are available like that, we'll go ahead and put your information up on a website on the WLND. But I want to thank you, because it's obviously a need, but when you don't realize that there are services out there, you never know to access them. So I appreciate, Eric, you coming in.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
And being on our show today.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And thank you, friends in the viewing audience, for being with us today. I'm Barbara Marcum. This is Friendship Focus.